Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ricky with Tetra Network Solutions. This video is going to be a short video doing a IBGP with Cisco and Juniper. I've already done a video with primarily a Cisco device connecting to another Cisco device. So I decided I'm going to be doing a Cisco device with a Juniper device. In this channel, it's going to be videos where we're going to be doing comparison of Cisco configurations, but then also we're going to be doing Juniper configurations and setups as well. So in this video, I already have the Cisco device sitting here, and the Juniper is going to be a Juniper MX series router on this side here, connected with the fast Ethernet on the Cisco side of the house and the Ethernet on the Juniper side. IP address is already laid out here, the 192.168, 200.29/30, and the 200.30/30 on the Juniper side of the house. So with the IBGP, we all know that basically this is an internal setup. So with this, it's going to be a internal setup with the autonomous system of 600. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly do the Cisco side of the house since I already have a Cisco video. And then I'll start focusing on the Juniper and doing some of the comparison of the syntax layout for it. Okay, let's jump in the Cisco side. So we're going to quickly bring out the interface. Okay, configuration T, our configuration terminal, interface, fast Ethernet, 0/0, IP address. It's going to be that 192.168.200.29/30. We're actually going to do the subnet mask as a 255.255.255.252. All right, we're going to do a no shut to bring this guy up. All right, once we do that, all right, we're in the up. Line of protocols up, interface is up. We're good to go on that. Drop down one, go to router BGP 600. Okay, simply putting in neighbor. It's going to be that 192.168.200.30. All right, with the remote AS of 600, enter. Simple, boom. All right, so as you can see, can do a show BGP, IP, BGP, neighbor, and we're basically in the active state, basically is actively looking for a neighbor, which makes sense because this side of the house is not configured at all. Let me slide back up so you can look at the syntax. Okay, now jumping into the Juniper box. Main difference is, very much this made by Juniper syntax is completely different than how you would set up for a Cisco router setup. So, but very similar, you would do a configuration to get into it. So you can look at the different options: batch, dynamic, exclusive, private. Um, with the way else this is set up for the Juniper comparing to this Cisco device, you're primarily gonna be just jumping in configuration mode. Boom, that basically just puts you in the mode to be a configuration. But you can actually do it exclusive, which basically will lock out any other users who may be in the box, when you're working and you're like, hey, I want to make sure this box is locked down. No one else is going to make any changes in this box while I'm working on it. You be using the exclusive, lock it other users out, and they can't make any changes. Yeah, and then you can also do the ones private, work in a private, database. Other changes do not show. So basically, when you're doing a comparison of your favorites, you're not going to see anyone else's work, just simply yours. So that's the nice thing about Juniper. It allows you to lock down a box exclusively or allow you to work in your own separate database, which really will be like a candidate database file where basically it's strictly your information is going to be shown, your configuration is going to be shown, and stuff like that. We'll get more into, exactly what a candidate, configuration is, stuff like that in other videos. But again, this is going to be focusing strictly on IBGP, bringing that up with the Cisco device and Juniper device. So for this, since there's no one else's in the box except for me, it's going to use the configuration. All right, jumps down to that. With how Juniper works, as ones who are familiar with like a Unix, Linux setup, you're actually using commands where you're telling it to set, right? So for this instance, we're going to be working on getting the interface up. So we're going to be doing a set interface, right? Basically telling what the interface is, which is going to be EM2 unit 0. Units basically is a sub interface within it. So whenever you're configuring a interface, you're always going to have a subunit. It's basically almost kind of like a VLAN. So we're looking at saying basically interface with a VLAN like 0 setup, but it's not necessarily a VLAN. It's a sub interface within it. On this, 0, we're going to put an IP address on this, but you're also going to have like EM2 unit 1, unit 2, 3, 4, 5. You can have multiple units underneath this. This allows you basically to just have a whole bunch of sub interfaces within on that one interface. All right. So, but then also example, you're looking at having these options on this: description, disabling, family, filters. Those again are going to be discussed in other videos, but our focus is going to be on the family side of the house. All right, so let's get back here. So family, and main difference you can be noticing is the family basically tells you literally how it says family. Who do you belong to? What are the characteristics of what you're going to be doing for me? So primarily we're going to be looking at basically iNet here, but if we were doing say IPv6, it would be iNet 6. Basically, it's telling me the parameters that you're working with is the IPv4 parameters. If you're doing IPv6, it'll be protocols parameters for the IPv6. As you notice as well, we have the ISO, MPLS. Those are a little more advanced, but for this particular, video again, it's strictly just going to be bringing it up and focusing on the BGP side of the house. So we're going to do INET, space. Now you're looking at saying other options, accounting, applying groups, filters, MTU, settings, policies. All of those, again, different video focusing on just the address. So address, now we'll be able to put the 192.168.200.30. Unlike what the older Cisco boxes, this is the older Cisco box down here, we can actually use the CIDR notation to be able to do it instead of having you type out the entire subnet mask. So boom. And the nice thing as well, if you notice how comparison from the Cisco and the Juniper, I was able to type that out in one single command versus in Cisco, you're going basically into a level to each one of them. So we went from fast Ethernet, had to enter, IP address, enter, no shot, keep dropping down to the different instances of it. And Juniper, to make it nice and easy, write one single line. All right, so now with that one single line completed for the interface, now we can focus on bringing up the BGP side of the house. So very similar, it's gonna be set, but this time we're gonna be actually, calling for the protocol BGP. All right, so we brought up the protocol BGP because basically, it's one of the protocols. So again, to be more explained in the other videos. So we're looking at, okay, we have set protocols BGP. So we're looking at what are we trying to do with the BGP, right? We have different options, advertising, clusters, export, family, local preference, things like that. Because one thing which you would notice as what we did with the BGP down here, router BGP 600. So we told it that, hey, this is basically your autonomous system. Same thing with this guy up here. You can tell it your local AS is 600. All right. BGP. All right, and one thing what you would look at for a BGP in a neighbor setup is that you don't do individual, you're actually creating groups. Here, you basically specify the neighbor, singularity here and here. Juniper, you're looking at more of a group setting, basically grouping the neighbors together, which is good because later, if you wanted to write a policy, or previous anything to have those groups be filter out certain IP addresses, certain things instead of doing each individual, neighbor. You have a group already, and you can basically apply those filters and those parameters around their particular group instead of the individual. All right. So now we name it a group since we know it's a Cisco device next door. It's there. So now we go back here. Again, it's going to be looking at very much the same information here. And about you putting the neighbor information, right? So we put the neighbor address is the 192.168.200.29. All right. Now, but also you're going to be telling it peer AS versus how this one's saying what the remote AS was. For the other side, this one's saying, hey, what is your peer AS? And it's going to be the same thing, 600. Now, next thing is you can do about Juniper versus Cisco. Well, for the older Cisco, you can do a show compare to see what you just basically put in. And what, so here you notice that this outlines every single thing that we just put in: the IP address for the interface, protocols, BGP, local information, peer information, the group that we created. All of that information allows you to be able to go back, double check before you commit anything. And again, things different between Cisco and Juniper. You have to actually commit that change to the router versus with the Cisco. You when you hit enter, it's the change is already in there. The change is already in there, which is a good thing, bad thing. Bad thing is if you made a mistake and you didn't get a chance to catch it, now you have to go back and quickly change it. Otherwise, it may be affecting something else on your network. Here, you have the ability to look at basically what you did beforehand before you actually go ahead and say, hey, okay, I'm good. I can, commit it. And, you can use the commit and quit basically, it commits it and then basically gets you back to the regular prompt. All right. Boom. Changes have been made. All right. So here, you can take a look and see, show BGP neighbor. Neighbor state has been established. So let's check over here. Yep. BGP has been established for the neighbor. All right. Double check here. Shopee BGP neighbor. All right. Establish. 17 seconds. Boom. There we go. So this was a simple, quick video. IBGP with a Cisco and Juniper device. Again, we're going to be doing more videos on this, doing comparison between Juniper and Cisco, and maybe do some videos strictly on Juniper, but it's going to be a cross-platform between the both. Again, thank you for watching. Please like the video. This way we know that you like it and we'll produce more videos. Please subscribe to the channel, below. Give back feedbacks and comments and stuff like that. That way we can know what type of videos that we need to make in the future. So again, thank you for joining and hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon.